This is Jeff Herring, and I am your host as regularly. And with us today is long-term client and friend Melody Campbell. We'll be introducing her and diving into her stuff in just a minute. A couple of things, couple of, as always, things we do that I start off with, and that's, excuse me, most content creators have been sold what I call a big fat lie. And that big fat lie is just create more. Just create more posts, more notes, more articles, more videos, more, and you'll be fine. Well, that works great for the platforms, but for us, it's a prescription for burnout,
Yeah.
right? And so what we focus on is finding your best content. The the stuff the audience has already voted on. They've liked it, they've loved it, they've commented, they've whatever. Um, and converting that not into just a product, but an entire evergreen profit machine. Now, we we always start with the opening sponsor of the show. Okay, and this one is the Guild of Creators who bought a microphone that never hit record. Okay, and you can find them at perfectaudiofornoone.com, where you can get their free guide how to podcast without ever saying anything. So um, now let's talk about templates a little bit. And Melanie and I have talked about this last week when we were catching up. Um, that was my first product online was templates, and Melody still has those. And you told me in the article today that you printed them out, and I love it. I love it
Yeah.
because here's what I want you to get, folks. That was 20 years ago. And those have been through from, stage 1 to 5.0. They've been turned into software. We'll get into this in a little bit, but they're great prompts for AI. And I'll give you one in just a minute. Um, Templates are great. Okay. So the reason they feel like magic is it's really just psychology. Our brains are wired to fill in the blanks, right? Remember Mad Libs growing
Oh,
up,
yeah.
and how much fun they were and making up stuff and then reading them. This is Mad Libs for profit, folks. And so, for instance, okay, they 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 meet our need for completion. If you see a sentence that says the fastest way to blank is blank, your brain wants to finish it. It's an open loop. Okay. Now, one of the things I got early on from people was, well, don't templates, mess up your creativity? And actually the opposite is true. They enhance it. They give you a container, a platform to use. Okay. Now, let's talk about those perfect AI prompts. Okay. Um, Denise Wakeman and Andy O'Brien of AI something club. Sorry guys. Were asking me about this when we first started working together, when they started their club, and I was bouncing the idea of templates off of them. And Denise said, I wondered when you were going to do this. And it hit me that those templates are great AI prompts.
Yeah.
Okay. And so write this one down, folks. I'm going to give you one. All right. And I'll start it as if I'm doing it, and then we'll give it to you with the blanks. Okay. I could say this to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to whatever. I call my ChatGPT Vicky, Viki, after the big machine in the ceiling in iRobot. So
Ooh.
and so I would say, Vicky, given what you know about me, Jeff Herring, and my Substack, howuprofit.com, please create an article in my voice and style, okay, on the 3 biggest mistakes people make when creating articles and creating templates out of their articles. Okay. We'll go a little meta here. Okay. Um, and then that gets produced. It sounds like me. Okay. Because you've taught, if you've taught your AI, it already knows you. If you haven't taught, okay, let's go back to the template. Given what you know about your name and my whatever website, Substack product, okay, please use my tone, my voice and tone to create a 3 mistakes post about, and then you fill in what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're doing this for the first time and you've got all those blanks filled in, you're teaching whatever AI you're using to go out there like they do, search the web in a millisecond for your stuff and come back and deliver you to you. It's
Yeah.
freaking crazy. And then the more you teach it, the more it works that way. Okay. Bottom line, templates aren't necessarily shortcuts. I like to call them brain friendly profit tools. Okay. So now we're going to talk with Melody about taking her new stuff with AI and visibility. And Melody is so great at getting people at the top of Google, getting people visible, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to take all that and turn it into her evergreen profit machine. So, Melody, welcome to the call, my friend.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on here with you.
I'm excited for you to be here. Has it really been 20 years?
Oh, it's just a blink of an eye.
I know. I know. Whenever I see families with, babies or little kids, if we get talking, I'll say, listen, soak it up. Because all those people that tell you it goes by in a blink of an eye, they lie. It's faster.
Yes,
So,
yes. Well,
mine
I'll
are
tell
now
you, it was,
30. What's that?
I was going to say, I'll tell you, it was 2009. Like, I remember the year that you talked about that, your content or your templates, and
Yeah.
I was like, I need that.
Yeah.
So it's maybe been 25 years.
Okay. It's been a while. It's been a while. All right. So I've got mapped out in front of me a version of an evergreen profit machine for you. And you sent me today a lead magnet that you just created. And folks, this is like a little bonus. Okay. Write this down. jeffherring.com/melody, Melody. That's her 10 article style cheat sheet. Okay.
Yep.
So to help people get visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so I I almost don't want to say this because you've already created the 10. And we're going to ask the audience, we're going to poll the audience about this. Um, I think 10's too much to give away. Okay. I know.
But,
But oh
but,
yeah, I want to have a discussion about it. Now, my reasoning is that I don't want people feeling full. Okay.
yeah.
So with that said, what's your butt?
So my thought is this: I love to be generous. Like I would
Yeah,
literally give it all away if I had some independent source of income.
I understand.
But they could make some assumptions when they look at that list. For example, FAQ articles. Okay, but they don't necessarily understand the depth and breadth of what AI is really looking for. So
Right.
that's why they want the next step, which is now what you have to pay me for. But it's just enough to make them curious, but not give them all the answers.
The two things we can do about that, and I hear you and I respect that. Um, folks, you guys that are here, let us know what you think. Is it
Yes.
is it too little, too much, or just right? And the only really way to know it, Melody, is to test it, okay,
Yeah.
and to play with it. Okay, so that's your lead magnet that gets people into the prequel. Um, now, I wrote the idea of a starter pack, a visibility template starter pack, or for you, an AI template starter pack. Um, Now, one of the things we could do is we could meet in the middle, um, and you could give away 5, and then the starter pack could be all 10 or
Yeah.
15, you know?
Yeah.
Because think back to those templates you bought of mine way back in the beginning. I gave away 2.
I thought it was 3. So I must have been on version 2.0 or something.
Yeah, yeah, maybe so. And what the reason that's important is that I got a subscriber, and on the thank you page, I taught a little bit about templates and how to use these, and then I made an offer for all of them. Okay,
Yes.
at a
Mhm.
discount. And so that meant that somebody that came on, didn't plan on spending money that day, now they've got a taste, they want the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can play with that here. Now, where this really gets interesting is moving into your core product. And for those of y'all that are regulars, you know that the purpose of the prequel is to get buying behavior, to build a list of buyers, and then lead them into the core. Okay. And so, Melody, I really like what you've done because you've got, well, just talk about the two versions, the do it yourself and the freelance.
Okay, so the do-it-yourself package, which is the first sale after the list of 10, is I will take these each of the 10 articles and create a prompt to go to AI to have help you write the content
Right.
or a template. So the template would be introduction, FAQ1, FAQ2, etc. So it
Got
kind of tells you if you want to write it yourself, beat it out of your own brain, then you can follow that. And then it gives you an example article written for, I think in this case is a plumber. But my goal is to focus on the small business owner, local service or
right.
brick and mortar. So
Got it.
they because part of them are on the side of I know I need to do something. I have more time than money. I'm going to do it myself. This helps
Yeah.
them. Then
Yep.
there are people who say, "Okay, great. I understand what needs to be done, but I don't want to do it.
Right.
I want to hire somebody to do it." And at least they have an understanding how to guide them. The second product will then teach the freelancer how they can go to businesses. They can go to a plumbing business and say, here's what you're going to need, and here's the reputable sources, which I cited in that lead magnet
Right.
of people like Neil Patel, Search Engine Journal, that are saying you need to have this kind of content on your website to get found in AI.
Right.
Then there's, uh, your elevator pitch, how to talk to a business owner, how to make the offer, your scope of work, all of that, so that you can then turn that article writing with your templates. You still get everything you get in the DIY kit. You get all of it. So now you can quickly write articles for people in your local community, for
I
anywhere
love it.
from a handyman to a beautician to a plumber. It covers them all.
That's brilliant. It then becomes a business. So when I was playing with this earlier today, this is the first time I've ever done this, is take the core product and split it into two. Okay. And my first mentor, Tom Antheon, hey Tom, um, still doing it. He was a speaker and an internet trainer. Okay. And so he also trained speakers. And so he had a website where he separated them at birth. You want to be a speaker or do you need a speaker? Okay. So one of the things that could be on your website is you want to do this yourself or you want to turn it into a business. Okay.
Yeah.
And that, I love that, because it's two paths. You're going to catch more people, and each of those two are going to feed each other too. I mean, I can see people doing the do it yourself and then wanting to go to the freelancer. Welcome, Andreas. Haven't seen you in around in a while. Good to see you here, bud. If you're just joining us like Andreas and others, I'm sorry, Andreas. Forgive me, Andreas. I know better. He's a neighbor here in Atlanta area. We are working on Melody's Evergreen profit machine based around her getting people visible, okay, with templates and other things, okay, small business owners. And we've done the lead magnet, we've done the prequel. We're playing with the core product and we split it in half because, or well, not really split it in half. We've given people two directions to go. One, do it yourself, and the other, do it for others. Okay, make it a business. Okay, beautiful thing. Um, what are you thinking about charging for those?
My price at this point for the DIY small business owners, $97. And
Okay,
I did have somebody come to me, what? That's a lot of money for just, 10 templates and prompts. I'm like, no, you're not paying for the pieces of paper if you print them out. What you're paying for is the knowledge behind it that will get you
right,
what you're looking for. Like,
right,
all you have to do is close one more sale every month. That's worth it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
evergreen.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not paying for numbers or length. You're paying for what's in your head and how you can make it so much easier for them
Yeah.
and what they can do with it. Yeah, absolutely.
And then
All right.
there's go ahead.
Well, we talked about the sequel product. And again, folks, Lead Magnet feeds into the prequel, prequel feeds into the core. Both of these cores You talked about, you called it as a sequel product, the Small Business Marketing Lab. What's that?
So that is going to be a monthly membership, part course, because I'll have videos created. In fact, I will follow something that I learned from you, invite my audience to join me in the creation of that video. And then that will be available in the library of content. And what we're going to cover initially is basic best practices for marketing. There's some best practices that are evergreen, whether there is MySpace or Facebook or Substack. Like there's this whole evolution, but people still make buying decisions the same way. They become aware and then they're interested and they're like, tell me more. And then they get to the desire because we all make decisions with our emotions and not with logic. We support it with logic. But then we go, I have to have that because I understand what that transformation would be like if I could just get out of this pain, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yes,
So that's
exactly.
going to be, doesn't matter whether it's AI or it's old school search. Those principles are going to stay the same. So that's initially what the Small Business Marketing Lab will do. But then as people start to learn what I do and they're like, oh, I could write these articles, I could do it myself, I could optimize my own profile, but they start doing it and then they're like, did I do it right? What else could I do? So then I'm inviting them into twice a week office hours. And you need to sign up ahead of time. And I'll have as many as 3 people on in an hour. And I will coach them in 15 minutes. And everybody gets to join in and listen.
Right.
But this is
So
like
they
the
get
good
benefit too.
stuff.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah. They can benefit too. But this is like where the good stuff comes out. Like inside of that membership, it's no holds barred. So now those are all also archived. Then you can go back and listen to, maybe I talked to a beautician or a roofer and you can be like, okay, that's my category. What did she say to that person? And so then it becomes this library that right now, which is actually still in the creation stage, is probably going to start at about $27 a month. Very inexpensive. That's just to get people to experience so that I've got people out there being my ambassador going, oh, you need this girl. And then we'll go from there. I'll start offering more checklists and SOPs and all that. But yeah, that's in the
That's the
works.
kind of membership people aren't going to want to leave. It's like your utility bill. I love your mention of MySpace. Everybody that's live or listening to this on the recording are going. If you're under 30, you're going, what?
What's
Um,
MySpace?
remember that? Remember that? Um, that was a big deal back then. Okay, so you talked about the do-it-yourself being 97. Um, the freelancer, is that also 97?
No, that's $297. And
Okay,
with
good.
that, you get all the documents. There's some um, examples of quote unquote legal documents, contracts, but I'm going to make a preface here that you need to take it to an attorney if in your area and get all the laws for your state and your community applied to that. But it gives you a track to run on. So you kind of know, okay, I'm going to submit this contract to a new prospect that is going to become a client. And they're going to understand what my scope of work is, what are the deliverables, and all of that will be outlined for you.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad you're charging more for the second one. And we talked about you were going to start lower for the lab, which makes sense. So then you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take 25 founding members, and I'm just picking that number. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that. I think you mentioned 27.
Yeah,
Yeah,
$27.
27 a month. And then as you hit your marks, it goes to 47, 67, 97, etc. Um, Now let's throw in a fun little piece here because I was thinking what could be a good spinoff for this, and there's so many things you could do. Uh, what I came up with, or my suggestion, is that you do pop-up trainings, like
Mhm.
you've got a new idea for a template, or you want to go, somebody wants to go deeper on one, or they have one specific question they want to go deep on. That can be something you pop up and just do. And it's not limited to one spinoff. You can have multiple. I mean, Happy Days had Laverne Shirley and Mork and Mindy. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The other thing that could be part of that pop up is like a pop up 3-day or 5-day challenge.
Yes. Yeah. And here's the truth is Google and all the chat bots, they're creating my spin-offs. Like daily, like I get notifications on my phone. So one of the things that I'm doing, like right here on Substack, is I have the local visibility pulse report. And it's just like you got your finger on the pulse. I'm putting my finger on the pulse for local visibility. And, everybody's calling it SEO, AEO, GEO, but nobody, I'm talking to everyday, maybe blue collar workers. Not that
Right.
they're not smart, but that's not their field.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
using language they understand. Local visibility. Okay, what's happening in that space right now? And it literally changes daily. And so I have AI create a digest for me of all the high profile communicators, thought leaders in that space. And then I pick something that I know is essential to my ideal client. And I put it in everyday common language and tell them what, what the expectations are now, what they can do on their own, or what they can hire somebody for. And if they hire somebody, whether it's me or somebody else, what should they be looking for? And so then that way, they can decide what they want to do. And this is my way of, like, it's a spin-off, but it like happens once a week because it's like, wait, now you can now, I don't know if you've seen it, but you can now take your phone and not just take a picture and pull it into Google Lens, but use your camera live and have a conversation with AI and say, I'm looking at this plant and it's wilting. What should I do about it? And you've got your camera focused on that plant
Oh, yeah, I know.
live.
It's insane. The other thing I discovered along those lines, because I've got binder upon binder upon binder of old newspaper columns that I wrote, and the place they were stored got shut down. So, easy in articles. Um, and so I'm like, how can I use these? You can take a picture of print and load it up and say, please print this out for me.
Yeah.
And it's right there in the AI. And I'm like, I like this. Welcome, Ellen, and other people that are just joining us. We are building an evergreen profit machine for Melody Campbell, all around getting visible and getting found. And Melody, you just said something huge that I don't want people to miss, and that's that Google is telling you what your pop up should be.
Yeah.
Okay? And say again how they're doing that.
Well, as the changes are made, of course, they publish a news release or it's in, Forbes or Entrepreneur, etc. And
Right.
I've got a digest, Search Engine Journal, Neil Patel, many others. I get this information. Like, this is what Google's doing now. This is what OpenAI is doing now. This is what Perplexity, all the names. This is what we're doing now. And I need to address that for my audience. Now, if there's some things that don't apply to my audience, obviously I'm not going to cover that. But I'm like, okay, this camera live AI conversation that Google just released, I'm going to be talking about that. Search engine results page is going to change and it's going to go much more to AI mode. Okay,
So
so
it
I'm letting
becomes
people know.
an idea factory.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. I could literally come up with something that I could do a complete product spin-off every single day. And here, I'm going to just insert this right here because I know we're running out of time. So when I first approached you, I saw that you were in Substack. I'm like, hey, we should do a collab. And we've never done anything like this before. But I thought, okay, I I like there are some things that I don't have to offer you in terms of like what my audience is and whatnot. But I'm like, okay, what is Jeff all about? And I thought, oh my gosh, templates. And I've never created a template, package before. So I created this just for your show. But then as I began to work with it, I'm like, oh, here's all the reasons why I need to spread this far and wide. As many people as possible need this. And here's one of the things that happened with some of the stuff I've been publishing is I got a text message from somebody I go to the gym and work out with. And she's like, my husband owns this kind of a business. And I just saw your recent post on, can you come have dinner with us? And
Perfect.
so last night I walked away with a brand new full campaign just from that.
And
So
dinner.
you inspired me.
Yay, my pleasure. That makes me so happy. Makes my day, and you're gonna kill it with this. So wrapping up, folks, we've created Melody's Evergreen Profit Machine. The lead magnet is article style, a cheat sheet. Okay, now you can go get that right now at jeffherring.com.
Wait, before I make it only 3.
There you go, Jeff jeffherring.com/melody, Melody. And yeah, we're going to make it 3. And then the prequel product, the starter pack, will be more. It could be the other 7. It could be all the way up to 15, whatever. Okay. And I'm going to use a fancy word here. We bifurcated the core.
Ooh.
Woo. Which means it's in 2. One is a do it yourself. The other one is you can do it for others and start a business with it. Sequel, the small business marketing lab, and then the pop-ups, new ideas, new trainings, um, as they come out. Now, any questions at this point, my friend?
No, I love it because I had never thought of offering less in my lead magnet. I could actually say more about it so that because I
Yeah,
love to give value. Um, yeah, I could go off on that a bit, but I really do. I want them to feel like, okay, I could do this. But then
yeah,
I also want
yeah,
to make them curious to go, wait, but how does this work? And then
yeah,
that's when they want the rest of my package.
yeah. Oh, I love it. I could take you to the restaurant I was sitting in Tallahassee after clients one day, reading an ebook that was. I've been trying to figure out the internet for months. And there I am writing a weekly 650 word column for the newspaper that got syndicated all over the world. And this ebook's about marketing with articles, and the world shifted.
Yes.
Like this, I can do this. And I
Yep.
love when we help clients get to that. All right. So folks, now again, go get her lead magnet at jeffherring.com/melody. If you get it now while you're live, you're going to get 10.
Yep.
If you're listening to this on the on-demand replay, you're going to get 3. Okay. Now, um, I love it.
They might need that. So it's jeffherring.com/melody. Somebody was just asking about the link.
Yes, jeffherring.com/melody, Melody. Are they
I'm
saying
gonna
they tried it and there's something wrong? Because it was working before we went live. Because it's a pretty link.
Yeah, it went right to it. So I don't know
Yeah,
what
we're
happened.
good.
Maybe a typo.
We're good. Yeah, or either that or refresh your page and try again, clear your cache, all those things. Now, we had our our opening sponsor. And you know what's funny, Melody, is people go, I went to that website and it wasn't there. And I have to sometimes explain, these aren't real. We're just having fun and entertain, right? So our closing sponsor, I love this one. And folks, I didn't make these up. I asked AI to do it and they did a great job. Okay? The Society of $7 offers that took 90 hours to build.
Oh my God.
Nice. The Society of $7 offers that took 90 days to build. Check it out at IamDefinitelyUndervaluingMyself.org, and get your bonus PDF, How to Burn Out Before You Break Even. Okay.
Yeah, because you
Um,
can make it up in volume.
that, I love it. I love it. All right, Melody, thank you so much for being here and bringing us great stuff. Um, Folks, if you want to be in the seat, the profit seat Melody's been in, not in her home, but in your office or seat, go to jeffherring.com/C. No, scratch that. jeffherring.com/EPM. EPM stands for Evergreen Profit Machine. jeffherring.com/EPM. And we can cut down on the wait because just before we went live, um, next week's guest had to reschedule. So I
Ooh,
have next week open for the first
cool.
person that jumps over at jeffherring.com/EMP, and we'll get started. All right. So,
Yeah,
Melody, you and I will talk over at jeffherring.com/meet to just
perfect.
kind of wrap this up and talk about where to go from here. Everybody, thank you for being here. A lot of places you could have been online. You chose to be with us, and that's always honored and appreciated. Go get this stuff for Melody. It's jeffherring.com/melody. And if you want a profit sheet, it's jeffherring.com/C, no, EPM, Evergreen Profit Machine, EPM. All right. And as usual, folks, as always, go use this stuff because it flat out works. And you've heard that before, right, Melody?
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.